Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another special Father's Day edition. It is Breaker Change Ministries. I'm your boy, Earl Miller. I have two special guests with me that is joining us to help us carry the conversation. And let me tell you, we are in for a treat. You know, the interesting thing about it is that me and we're going to get to Brother James Jones, Mr. James Jones, but we all are connected through marriage. This is my son through marriage, and this is actually my nephew through marriage. You know, and God makes no mistakes. Let me tell you, He makes no mistakes. And how God has taken the relationship that I have with both of these men is He paralleled it with how Christ is married to the church, but also how I'm not part of the 12 tribes. He has grafted me in through the water baptism in Jesus' name and the infilling of the Holy Ghost to where now I can call myself a child of God. If it wasn't for being blended in, being a blended family, the Bible calls it being grafted in. But I'm gonna use a modern day terminology term. It's called blended in. So he blended us in, and God began to use these natural relationships. My relationship with Trey, my relationship with Chance. It's Chance again. We're gonna hear from these two individuals. Um, God began ministering to me in a special way on how we are all blended in some type of shape, fashion, and form. And so we have Mr. James Jones, the third. Family and friends only get to call him Trey. And we have Mr. Chandler Foster. It's Chance again. And let me tell you, these two men are accomplished. They are degreed up. They are professionals in their own rights. And I'm going to hit the pause real quick for myself so that they can introduce themselves in their special way. Let's start with you, Mr. Foster, man. Introduce yourself.
Uh, Chandler Foster. I've known uh, Trey James. I don't know since we were 6, 7 years, six,
Okay.
7 years old, whatever. um, and I've known Brother Miller since I was at least a teenager. So it's just nice to come on here and be able to use this platform to have some really nice conversation.
So hold on, you're not gonna get off that easy. We've been seeing you come across our news feed with this. It's Chance again. Um, um, who tell us about that, man? How did that really? How did you get inspired to do that and be such a blessing on the platforms with that?
Honestly, between James and another friend, they really just kind of pushed me to use that as a platform to express myself, to make people laugh, to kind of create some conversation, and it's actually really been cool to kind of step out of myself and um, I don't know, use the platform to do whatever I needed to do at the time, whether that's make people laugh, have some
Mm.
serious conversations, or just get people together, as you guys have seen, just to do some skits and stuff like that. So it's been cool, and I'm actually really excited to see where it takes me the next few months.
Hey, Doctor, I'm not letting you off the hook, man, because I've watched. You're right. I remember both of y'all wearing those little sweater vests and ties. And
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my goodness.
you
You
guys, no,
know,
'cause I read now. I've been to all of you guys' graduations, man. You guys are professionals. You
That
guys
is
are
true.
degreed up. So tell us, man, about your degrees. Tell us about your
Mhm.
field you're working in as an educator, and then we'll bounce it over to Mr. Jones.
That I just Yeah, you're right. You actually have been at both graduations. That's
Yeah.
insane. So I got my undergrad in mass comm, so public relations, which I think really helps me with the It's Chance Again branding and just figuring out what I want that to be. And then I got my master's in education, and
Yeah.
I'm a third grade teacher. Just actually got tenured, and
Oh, wow.
absolutely love it. Even though those kids stress me out most days, but I love what I do. Yeah, it's a blessing, honestly, even on the stressful days.
I hear you, Doctor. What's up, Mr. Jones? Holla at your boy, man.
yo, uh, James Jones. Most people close to me, they call me Trey Days.
Right,
Um,
right.
man, I'm just here, man. I'm here. I'm cooling. I'm happy to have the opportunity to be on, especially for this Father's Day special. Um, I mean, what you want to know?
Man, tell us, man, about man how your education journey has been, and then kind of as as a student, and then as a professional, and kind of where you're at right now.
For sure. I mean, so high school, graduated 2012. You were there. Here, did a little bit of schooling in New Orleans, Louisiana. I went to Dillard for about 2 years. Came back, took a very, very long break,
Yeah.
and I began working in schools as a para. And I was like, man, the stuff that I'm doing is the same things, man, that these principals is doing, and they is making the loot. They is bringing.
Money.
I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and just go back to school. So I went back. I went back to school, and I want to say 2022, I
Yeah.
think. And I got my associates, and then from there transferred over to Metro, where I uh what was my major? I majored in ethnic studies, and then I had a minor in creative writing,
Yeah.
and graduated with those degrees in 2025, and then immediately went into getting my master's at Hamlin. So I'm getting my master's in special education,
Yes,
and
sir.
just recently accepted a position as an elementary school teacher as
Congrats.
well. So
Congrats.
that's something that'll be happening here pretty shortly, starting work in August. So yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
ooh.
welcome to that teacher boot camp.
Yeah, that's what this start August 4th, man.
Mhm, mhm. Wow. Wow. Man, that is phenomenal. This is for the viewers out there that's going to be watching the replay. Um, what would you guys say to them who may be thinking about giving up on their education journey, thinking it's too late?
Who?
Man, don't.
Yeah.
You know, I thought, because I think I went back to school, I had to be, I think I was like 28,
Mhm.
28, 29. And I was like, man, like I'm old. Like
Yeah.
I'm old. There's no reason why I should be going back to school. But I will always tell, man, anybody, if that desire is in your heart to
Mhm.
get that degree, to finish up, don't let age, don't let not being able to pay for a class stop you. Like,
Mhm.
figure it out and go. You know what I'm saying? I sat when I first went back to school, I literally sat in classes with kids that
Yeah.
had just graduated
Yeah.
the year before. And they looking at me and I'm looking at them. And
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you bet not, not, man, Mr. Like, Mr. Jones, is that you? Man, hey, won't say all that, man. It's just James. But
Mhm.
it pushed me. It pushed me, and it gave me the chance to tell other kids, like, hey, like, don't wait until the last minute, or don't wait until you're 30, because man, you're gonna be in some embarrassing situations where you might gotta be sitting with
Yeah.
kids that are 17, 18, and,
Yeah.
and you this man, older individual. So
Yeah.
while you got the chance straight out of high school, go.
Dude.
And if your path goes a different way, and it's like, hey, like, I need a break from school, then that's fine too. Don't wait so long though, because the longer you wait, the harder it is to get back in the groove of things. That's one thing that I learned too.
Yeah. 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 I appreciate that, Mr. Jones. Hey, Mr. Foster, how would you, and we're going to kind of transition into some of this Father's Day discussion, but sticking with what we're talking about right now, how would you uh, describe the importance of having drive and or motivation when you have reached a standstill position? So what Mr. Jones just got through sharing with us, hey, don't wait so long because it's hard to get the wheels turning. For somebody who probably has hit the pause button, what are some things that they can do to get remotivated, re-inspired?
I think you I think you need to know what you want to do. You don't exactly
Wow.
need to know how you're going to do it.
Mhm.
I was blessed to have people in my life, the late great Dr. Foster, who would
Man.
always tell me, get that piece of paper because then you can walk into a room and you can tell people, hey, this is my price. But if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have that paper, they can tell you, their price.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so I took a year off after I got my undergrad, and she was like, you need to go right back while you young and while you could do it. I was 26, newly married, had a new
Mm-hmm.
baby. She was like, hey, you got to get that paper because once you get that piece of paper, sky's the limit. And I'm glad I took heed to her advice. So what I would say is again, you don't necessarily need to know how you're going to do it, but you just need to know, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And
Mm-hmm.
then surround yourself with people who are going to push you and not let you settle.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I'm hearing legacy, man. That is so powerful. I remember going to one of Trey's, Mr. Jones's graduations, and his son was there. And I just think about how important it is for our kids to see their dads. We applaud our moms, man. Yeah, 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 yeah. But I feel like this Western culture has done a great job at putting the stigma when it comes to men that we don't really hold our own. And so I don't mean no disrespect. I'm not trying to shun. I think both units are needed for
Yeah.
family, right? But I think it is something special when especially our sons can see their dads, man. You know, saying uh, changing the narrative, uh, setting that being a trailblazer, right? And so you two are doing it, and we applaud you, and thankful for you all. We're going to dive into this discussion, but before we do, those of you who have already subscribed, I thank you from the depths of my heart for your love, your support, and your ongoing prayers. Breaking Chains Ministries would not be where we are currently at if it wasn't for your love and your support. For those of you who have not, and this is your first time joining us, we don't believe in a coincidence. You have been here and your steps are ordered by the Lord. You're going to hear something that's going to resonate, and you're going to be able to allow for it to develop, mold, and shape you in fatherhood. No doubt about it. But please do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. God bless you. We're going to ask this quick question for our panelists. What does fatherhood mean to you, and why do you think it's important to be a part of fatherhood?
Ooh. Well, as
Fatherhood.
my as my brother would say, I think fatherhood is the best hood you could be a part of. It's 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 kind of hard. It's like an exclusive club. If you're not in it, you don't understand what it means. It's a different language. I still remember the first time I held my oldest. It absolutely changes your whole perspective on life, especially for men. I think it just kind of gives you a different drive because now I have somebody else that needs and is depending on me.
Yeah,
And if you let that push you, I mean, really, sky's the limit. I probably wouldn't have my master's degree, and I'm
yeah.
in school right now to get my doctor's if it wasn't for
Wow.
my girls pushing me.
Wow.
It's a different level of kind of like power you can tap into.
Mm,
Mhm.
I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
for that, Mr. Foster. Mr. Jones, what are you thinking?
What fatherhood means to me, being there, like
Mm,
Yeah.
being there, being present, no matter what it takes, I think that is very important that, you know, my kids see that I'm here, that I support them through whatever it is that they want to do, whether that's, swimming, basketball, soccer, chess club, whatever it is. I want to make sure that I'm there and they feel that support. I seen a video the other day of a kid who was graduating high school, and he was kind of surveying the crowd
yeah,
and looking for his dad.
yeah,
And when he found his dad, you could see like his
yeah,
whole smile, everything just changed. He was happy. So I
yeah.
just think, for me, like father about being there, being present, showing that unconditional love, and supporting your child, man, through whatever.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. Gosh, you said so much. Oh, wow. So kind of staying in this vein, fatherhood. Um, what do you all think that some of the resources that should flow out of fatherhood for somebody who is just who doesn't come out of a household that carries such certain attributes or characteristics, didn't really be the best example or model it, like what should a new father be, expect to see in a healthy father circle?
Whew, that's a good question.
Mm,
um, I, I think you have to. I think you have to be okay with not really having all the answers,
mhm,
and be okay with. I mean, I know that there's times where I had to research. Okay, why is my daughter crying at 3 a.m. and she won't
mm,
stop screaming? Um, uh, Being all right with not having all the answers, and then finding your style and your style evolving,
Mm,
because you're always gonna evolve as a parent. And I'm
mm,
happy that I have, my father or James or other people that I can kind of lean on,
mm,
um, and be
mm,
vulnerable and say, "Hey, man, the kids are driving me crazy today, and I don't know what to do." Or, "Hey, my oldest just did this. How do I respond?" Um, I think that the first thing is just knowing, hey, you don't have the answers, and you probably aren't going to get it right most of the time. But as James said, just showing up, I think is 50%.
mm.
mm,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah. Piggybacking off Chandler, like what I have learned is like you're always learning as a parent. Like
mm,
no matter what it is, even if you ask, individuals that have been parents for 30 plus
mm.
years,
Yeah,
they're still
yeah.
learning as parents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that it's important as fathers to not get down on yourself when
Mm,
you don't know everything, when you don't have all the answers. Um,
mhm,
my first child, she was good. She was great. My son, it's just a whole nother thing. There's been, there's so many things, and I don't know everything. And I,
mhm.
I found I found myself at times like, man,
Yeah.
like I feel like an inadequate
Mm,
right now because I don't necessarily know, man,
mhm.
why he's crying at 3 o'clock or why he's refusing to eat or whatever the case may be.
Mm,
I
mm,
think I think first and foremost, as a parent in general,
mhm,
mom or dad, like
mhm.
you can't get down on yourself. And what works for somebody else
Yeah.
might not always work for you. And what works for you might not always work for the next individual. So you do gotta find your parenting style in the way that you parent.
Mm,
And it's gonna be some talk. Some
yeah.
people gonna say you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't act like that. But at the end of the day, you know what works for you and you know
Mm,
what works for your kids. So whatever
right.
whatever works for y'all, then
Mhm.
I say do that and always stay positive, even in those times, man, where it's like this kid is getting on my nerves. Oh
Mhm.
my God.
Right,
Hey,
right.
just stay positive.
No, that
Yeah,
staying positive is important for real.
For sure.
yeah, yeah. No, no, that's thank you both for sharing that. It reminded me of a conversation that I was having about 18 plus years ago. I was talking with a gentleman who was in the service, Air Force, and he was married at that time at least maybe about 30 years, right? He was an older gentleman. And he said, man, to me, he was very transparent. He didn't have to do this. He was like, man, I thought about saying I'm going to the store to buy some milk and not coming back,
Mm,
Hmm.
leaving my wife, leaving my kids, and just leaving the picture as a whole. That's how much the pressure life, right? We talked about before in the backstage about just car maintenance, and dealing with the hustle and bustle of everyday to day living. And then when you compound that as a father, it's like, man, and then you in the relationship, marriage, right? And so, and he shared that with me. And by you guys, sharing with us the importance of fatherhood, how you can go to a place with other fathers and draw strength, draw wisdom, draw support that helps us stay in the fight. I think you guys are touching on some valuable points. And if it works for the world, I'm going to go ahead and say this because folks know my background a little bit. And, you know, you don't go to rotation and not know your lit and not be able to get aid and assistance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You go to the hood because you, as the myth says, the hood is all good, but you go there for support. And so when you come out of that lifestyle and God brings you into a new lifestyle, you can find healthy fathers that can pour into you and encourage you. Hey, man, you don't have to give up on fatherhood. You men talked about it today. I'm glad I didn't give up on my education journey. Now you guys both are degreed up, and now you guys are actually applying the degree in your profession. And so I think that translates into fatherhood. For those of us who may have thought about giving up, and for those of us who may have thrown in the towel, it's not too late to come back. You just got to find other men where it's a some people like to say safe space, but I like to say an encouraged space because it takes I'm sorry, courage space. It takes courage to be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
It takes courage. Not everybody wants to be transparent because we feel like we're gonna be looked upon as weak. We're gonna
Yep.
be looked upon as less than, and so it takes courage to say, "Hey, man, I need help." And so I just want you, men, viewers, to understand that there are some good men out there who are walking the walk and not just talking. Let's keep
Yep.
on going here. How many kids do you guys have? So when I think about children being a gift, and you guys have talked about this, you guys have talked about this a little bit, scratch the surface, take us a little bit deeper. How many children do you guys have? And how have they been a blessing to you?
So I have two biological and then one bonus.
Ah,
And
We love that.
man,
really?
they're great. So two girls, one boy. Um and they're fun. They're all very different personality wise. But all just goofy in their own ways and bring a different type of excitement to the atmosphere, to the home, to the house. I
Mm.
love when we're all together because it's just a ball, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, they make me feel great. They make me feel appreciated. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm doing
Especially,
something right.
especially nephew. That brother is hilarious, man. I didn't know your oldest was that funny, man. I did not know that.
Yeah,
She was
yeah,
cracking me up.
yeah. We went swimming at Chandler's house last weekend, and
Yeah.
we had a ball. We had a good old time at the pool, and we
Nice.
was all kicking it with all the kids. So yeah.
Mhm.
Hell yeah, that was cool. That was fun. Um, I I would say I'm learning more as they get older. I thought because my oldest looks exactly like me, I'm like, oh, that's my twin. That's my twin. Come to find out, you're not. I mean, you are like me, but you're not that much like me.
Mm.
So I can't just assume things with her. I have to really develop. Not I don't want to say like I don't have a relationship, but I have to work a little bit harder
Mhm.
because we see things very different. And then
Mhm.
my youngest, who I don't think looks like me, but some people say does, is my twin through and through personality wise. Rough rider, loves basketball. She's the one like, where's the party at? Let's do it.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting as they get older, just discovering their personalities, things that I can see like, oh, that's your mom, that's me, that's your grandfather. Oh Lord, that's your uncle. Like just certain things that continue to show as they get older. And like James said, you never can kind of stand still. You're always learning something different because what worked Monday might not work Tuesday.
Right.
That is
And
very
then and then Wednesday comes and what worked Monday works Monday. So it's just like you have to kind of be on your feet and just know, hey, it's always going to be different.
Wow. I remember when man, Trey, we got the phone call. I call her Joy Bells. I call her. I used to call her baby Joy Bells. Now she's little Joy Bells, and I just can't. She's already 9, gonna be 10 this year. It's just crazy. Yeah, it's too much for me, man. But I never forget. Me and my wife was in church, and Joy Bells was born in Southdale Fairview, and we went over there. I think we had to wait until like the second day she was born, and we went over there, and I saw Trey. Oh man, and you can just still see the look on his face. This is so it just doesn't. It feels like a dream, right? It feels like you can see it on his face, like he's like, this really just happened. It happened. And so I just asked him, man. You know, how do you feel? And I remember his words were, it feels good to know that you created something. Mm-hmm. I remember those words, and I was like, I hear what he's saying. I hear what he's saying. I don't have to be all super deep. We know God did, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he's saying, man, to know that me and another human being, the mother of our daughter, came together and produced this beautiful gift. And I'm mentioning that because I want you guys to share with us what was the experience. And now, brother Foster, I don't know if you were also in the birthing room and anything like that. Walk us through, man. What was that birthing experience, if you recall?
James, James laughing because he knows mine is not mine is not sunshine and rainbows. I was in the room, and make a long story short, the reason why my oldest daughter's middle name is Faith is because we really had to rely a lot on that. She was I could have left that hospital room with just myself, to be honest. That was a completely I don't want to say it ruined the experience, but it changed my perspective on life instantly. Like nobody's guaranteed anything. I just thought, oh yeah, your wife gets pregnant, you have a baby, people come in the room with balloons and everybody's happy. What's the baby's name and all that? No, you could hear a pin drop in that room. And so it really made me appreciate how much work, one, my wife at the time put in because she really had to sacrifice her body. And then two, like, you fought to be in this world. And so I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that like that wasn't in vain, because everybody else has these amazing stories, these cute stories. And I'm thinking like, we thought that she came out dead. They pronounced her dead coming out.
My
and
Lord.
she's 5 years old now, walking, talking, and just amazing. And so for me, she is actually my miracle baby. Like there's no reason why she should be here but God. So it's just a different experience for me. So fatherhood and my kids just mean a lot more. Like, I don't want to say to anybody else, but it's just a little different for me.
Yeah, that was deep, man. And look, I appreciate you being vulnerable. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that backdrop. And man, thank you for sharing that. You just encouraged my heart. I'm gonna come back to you, but I'm gonna come back to you a little bit. We're not gonna leave this post real quick. We got another 30 minutes, man. Brother Jones, man, how was the journey for you, Doc?
Oh man, it was scary. That would be honest. I was 21. I was 21. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what I was doing with life, where life was taking me, and to know that I got a human being that's on the way,
Yeah.
And then when you get that call, like she on the way, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know.
Mhm.
So being in the room, um, I am a little squeamish, so I got a little sick,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
but don't judge me. I'm
No,
not
ain't nobody judging. That's real. That's
none.
for real.
But when my daughter came out and I was finally able to hold her, I did. I felt amazing. I felt like wow, like
Mhm.
I created this human, and now I get to man teach this individual
Mhm.
while I'm still learning life too.
Yeah.
That part. Yes.
I'm still learning life, but it made me have to grow up. It made me have to man figure it out, and that's why I'm here today. I'm probably here talking to y'all today because of both my kids, because I have them. You know what I'm saying? They are a big reason why I push forward in a lot of in a lot of spaces and a lot of different reasons. So in a nutshell, yes, when my first was born,
Yeah.
amazing feeling. When my second was born, even greater,
Yeah.
even
Can I
greater feeling.
can I
Yeah.
ask James a
Oh.
question?
Yeah. 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 We talking.
Was there a difference between your first and your second when they were born? Because everyone says like you should know what to expect, you should know what to do. That's not true at all. So like I'm interested to hear like was that different for you?
Yeah, they were both different. Um, well, because one, I kind of knew what to expect the second
Hmm.
time around. Um, but I think also what made it different was the space that I was in
Mm.
at that time too.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I was 21 when my daughter was born, and I was 28
Mm.
when 28, 29 when my
Mm.
Ooh,
son,
That's a gap.
that's a
um
lot of growth too.
Yeah.
yeah, so like for me, like I was in two different spaces, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I think I was a little more prepared the second time around. Um but yeah, I mean everything else was still the same, you know, the
Yep,
screaming,
the doctor visits, all
all
that.
that,
Yep.
and the hurting and all that, and that all that was the same. I just think
Yeah.
my mindset was just in a different space, and I was a little more prepared, and I kind of knew, you know, what was gonna come next after, you know, you guys leave the hospital, and you know
Mhm.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
this mode of, you know, waking up in the middle of the night doing feedings. I let me make sure that I'm prepared, man, to help, you know, while my child's mother is tired. You know, let me get these diapers, let me do this, let me do that. So I just was more prepared.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
I
Yeah,
like
man.
that you said the mindset. That definitely was different for me as well. So no, I just want to hear your thoughts on that. My bad.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. This is I like this. This is roundtable, man. Great question. So you asked the question. Um, what's your take on it? Was it different for you, brother Foster?
It was completely different.
Yeah.
Jasmine and Noah were, I mean, were completely different. You know, like I said, my first child, I was like, yeah, this is smooth. Everything. Once we got her home, everything was fine. Easiest baby. I'm like, this is a piece of cake. Like, what are y'all complaining about?
Mm-hmm.
And then that second one came, and she was like, no, you gonna hold me. You gonna hear me. You
Yeah.
gonna. It was a 180. And so everything I had learned, I had to unlearn and
Wow.
then learn some new things. And then now I have to, because what works for my youngest doesn't work for my oldest. What works, it's just
Mm-hmm.
it now I understand, like, because my parents had 5 kids, and that doesn't
Yeah.
include their bonus kids.
Yeah.
Now I understand, my mom used to say, I love all y'all the same, but I love all y'all differently because you
Yeah.
don't need the same thing from me. And it wasn't until my youngest was born, I was like, okay, now I get what she's saying. Because
Yeah.
I can't approach you two the same because you don't hear me the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the big
Yeah.
shift for me.
Yeah. Super dope. And ladies and gentlemen, who's watching this, I take notes. I take notes in real time. In real time, and the truth of the matter is that you're always learning, you're always growing, and I've been
Yeah.
blessed already. I'm about to be applying all of this. No, I work with men. You see what I'm saying? I work with
Mhm.
men, I work with women, I work with our youth, our teenagers, and things of that nature. And so community is important. So everybody doesn't have the same point of view. Everyone doesn't share the same experience, maybe similar, but not always necessarily the same.
Yeah.
And it really does it takes a village, man. It takes a village out here. And so I'm taking notes in real time if you're wondering what I'm doing. Uh, I have to ask you guys this question here. Is I want to talk about the faith part. And Brother Foster, it's really stemming from your experience, right, with the first
Mhm.
child. And so my question for you both on the platform: how has uh, being a father strengthened your faith in God? Like, how has your faith grown in Christ Jesus? I want to call that name. I'm telling you, sometimes I'll give you a disclaimer. Sometimes I start breaking out I start breaking out speaking in tongues when I start
Mhm.
the most. But how has your faith grown in fatherhood?
For me, I think, and I don't not to get too deep, but I think that God really humbled me with the birth of my oldest, of saying like, you can't do this without me. Like
Mm,
she was born, she was blue. Like,
mm,
not to make light of the subject, like blue, and I just remember covering my wife at the time, praying, because that's all I knew to do. Like, I'm just gonna start praying,
mm,
and they finally said, hey, she's good. Everything is fine, and that's how we ended up changing her middle name to Faith, because it really took the belief
mm,
in God and everything. I don't even. They had a breathing tube in her. We didn't hear her cry or anything for 72 hours. Like, that's a humbling experience, and you don't have the answers. You don't know what's going to happen. You have to not lie, but you have to just have this faith in God of, hey, he's going to take care of me. He's going to take care of my daughter. He's going to take care of, the mother of my child. Everything's going to be okay. I just had blind faith at the time.
mm,
We are all going home. I don't care
mm,
what these doctors say. I don't care what this report say. We
mm,
all going home.
mm.
That's what we doing.
Yeah.
And so I think right then and there, God was like, hey, I want you to know, from now to the end of your life, you can't do this without me.
Mm.
Mm,
So, and he taught me that lesson instantly with her birth.
mm. Wow, that's powerful.
It's amazing.
Trey, what are you thinking, man? How has your faith grown in God?
So for me, like, we've all grown up in church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But I knew that I didn't want to be a hypocrite. I
Yeah.
didn't want my kids to see me, you know, go to church on Sunday and then be kicking it the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
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 I will be transparent
Yeah.
and say that, back then, yeah, I was doing both. I was
Yeah.
kicking it. I was
Yeah.
in church on Sunday, and I was
Yeah.
kicking it some more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what always was in my heart and in my mind is that, hey, I want to be the example.
Mm.
And in order to be the example,
Yeah.
you have to be willing to let go of certain things,
Mm.
let new come into you. And so, for instance, now, like, it's important for me, my partner, and all the kids to
Mm-hmm.
be on Sundays.
Yeah.
We're going to church, and we don't. Our church don't start at 11 o'clock. It start at 9:30.
I love it.
So we up.
You still watch football.
There you go. Yes, to make it for that prime time.
but seriously, you know, it is so important to me that we go to church and we're in church as a family, and that the kids create and develop their own relationship and their own perception of God. I don't want it to be what I put on them. I want them to be able to experience God in his fullness for themselves. And I know in order for that to truly happen, I have to lead in that way and make sure, hey, that God is in the home. God is with you, man, when you go to school. God is with you, man, when you with your friends and you might about to make, man, a bad choice and decision. He gonna tap you on that shoulder and be like, hey, go. You sure you want to do that? Hey, Ash, you that's what you want to do? Hey, Lou, you sure? You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be there, but in order for that, I gotta be willing to, man, lead.
Wow.
So that's what I got from it. Like, hey, like I gotta be able to lead from this point on, and I gotta be able to receive God. I gotta be able to do that.
And what's crazy is me and you are prime examples of that. We've been in the same, well, now we don't go to the same church, but we've been in the same church for, you know, pretty much our whole lives. We saw the good, the bad, the ugly of what that, you know, has to do. But what I think the common denominator was, they always went back to God. And I think even you and I have had times where we've been talking, hey man, like, I don't want to do this no more. Like this is ridiculous. And we just be like, hey man, you got to pray about it, or you need to turn on some inspirational music or something, but you're going to have to figure this out. And it always leads back to God, which I think is important.
Like that.
If you don't have that foundation, like we had, that we're also trying to do for our kids, what do they go back to? When it does get hard, when they don't have the answers. Like I can't imagine what would have happened if what happened with my oldest happened and I didn't have God to lean on, or if I didn't know how to lean on God. I would have been sitting there scrambling. So it is important. I like what you said.
No, it's powerful. It's powerful. And a couple of things come to my mind, and I know that we have had some questions laid out, but I'm noticing that the conversation is touching on these questions. You see what I'm saying? You guys, I don't know if you picked up on this, and I'm sure you have, but when I look at Galatians 5:22, it says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith. And so I had to extract those two out there because your daughter, Mr. Foster, faith in it. Mr. Jones' daughter, joy in it. And so we talked about in this conversation while we was backstage, how you guys have more things alike than differences. You guys age, degrees, professions, down to the names of your children, man. How do you feel about that? Did you guys notice that?
Not until you just pointed it out.
No, not. But
just pointed it out.
We honestly, if I could tell it, go ahead. You know, Trey. We didn't really like each other coming up, like because I think we were so similar.
Yeah.
And we were always together. Our mothers were in the choir. You know, our fathers were in the ministry. Like we were always at church 24/7. So we didn't really have a choice to be around each other or be friends. I think we decided to be friends as we got older. And instead of using those, you know, similarities to kind of push us away, we decided instead, hey, you know, we both have all of these things in common. Then let's provide a safe space for us to talk. There's times where I can, you know, call him up and just say, hey, man, like I just need 4 or 5 minutes just to vent.
Yeah.
You know, and he'll ask me, you know, you want tough or fluff, which is our way of saying, you want me to listen or do you want me to, you know, give you some advice? And that, I think because we're so similar, he's able to give me advice sometimes when I'm not even thinking clearly of, hey, this is how you should handle this, you know, and I can trust it because that's probably what I would do.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Mr. Jones, man, what are you hearing, man? Did you want to chime in before I get on to something else?
So, you know, just kind of like piggybacking off Chandler, like, yeah, like we wasn't the closest growing up for sure, but I think as adults, when we did realize, like, hey, like we have all these things in common, I think it made life just a tiny bit easier.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is we both got two kids.
yeah.
We both in church. We
Mm,
both know God. We in the same career path.
mm,
It just makes it easier to talk to
yeah.
men, be able to know that there's somebody that is doing almost the exact same thing that I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
and knows exactly how I feel or
Mm-hmm.
what it is that I'm going through. It just makes it so much easier just to be comfortable enough and have the courage
Yeah.
to to
Yeah.
put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like Chandler says, we have had many of conversations, man. Hey, bro, I'm stressed out. I just ear, whether
Mm-hmm.
that's man 7 in the morning
Yeah.
or man 8 at night. Like one thing that we make sure that we do is that we know that, hey, we got each other's backs and we're
Yeah.
all gonna be here to support. We're always gonna be able we're always gonna be here to support each other's kids,
Yeah.
Yep.
um, all of that. So yeah.
That's
And the
good.
kids feel it and they show it too. Because I'll hear it all the time. uh Uncle James said this, or like when your kids came over last time and I was able to, talk to your oldest, and I'm like, man, I think this is the most I've talked to you. You are hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, or or your son just being like, hey, nephew, you got it. Like, go ahead, swim, or like whatever. Like, just certain aspects like that. Seeing what our parents did, for us,
Mhm.
now we get to kind of replicate is dope.
Yeah.
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 That's super dope. That's super dope. I appreciate you guys sharing this, man. We're gonna take. I know that I want to talk. I want to go a little bit more deeper, as much as you guys are comfortable with, in these fleeting moments that we have. I know that you both have some tight schedules, with your kids. I want to ask the question. We talked. We talked about how we you all have mentioned how you've been able to look at your parents' lives and kind of glean some of the some good things, right, and apply them. But we also know that parents don't always do the right thing. We don't always set the right example. We don't always model Christ. Like sometimes we model this flesh.
Mhm.
And then also you touched on how you know your children can pick up on things and feel the energy, right, in a household. I know that there are blended families that are going to watch this broadcast. And
Mhm.
I know that there are families that are trying to figure out if they're going to make it in the blended family or not. Um, and I know this because I've had the opportunity to kind of share my personal experiences to help strengthen and lift other households up, that
Yeah.
God is able, but all have to be willing to work. And so, my question for you, men, man, if for blended families who are like, man, this is different. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was probably gonna be like this. You know, me, my mom, my dad, my picture was gonna look like how I imagined it. Man, what were some of the challenges, man, that you guys had that you are like, I'm going to use those challenges as a tutor on what not to do. I'm not going to judge it so much, not from a judgmental standpoint, but from a standpoint I want to learn and not duplicate that.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, that's a good question, and so now we about to be real.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
It's about to be real.
yeah,
Um, you know, I grew up with you, Earl. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying, from 14,
yeah,
and Those beginning times, man, was some tough times.
That's right. That's right.
Was some real tough times. And one thing that was hard for me was that we never got to at that time really just build, like, I don't want to say a friendship, but built a really strong foundation in our relationship, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that I always told myself is like, if I ever end up with somebody that has a kid, my number one goal is to build that relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here, man, to like get on you. I'm here to support you and build that relationship, because I know that that's what would have been beneficial for me when I was 14, right?
Yeah.
And now my partner now, she has a 7-year-old, so she's a little younger, but I can still apply that.
Yeah.
Hey, like, I'm here, man, as a resource, as a tool for you, man, somebody to talk to, somebody to kick it with, have fun, and just grow together. So that's like the main thing for me. And I think that should be like the main thing in any blending of relationship, is individuals truly getting to know their partner's children, and building that relationship, so that you can grow and be a better family. Now, it doesn't always work like that, right?
No.
There's things that happen, but as time goes on, individuals grow, learn. As in our case, I've grown, I've learned. I know, and I was a little knucklehead, and I didn't always want to do what I was told, or I wasn't always respectful. But as you grow and learn and have kids of your own, like, man, this is exactly how Earl was feeling. Oh my. I'm finding myself in those situations, like, dang it, this is exactly this. I made Earl feel this way. You know what I'm saying? And it's a full 360 moment for myself, and it's also just a humbling experience in itself too, because it's like, man, like, I truly know how Earl was feeling. And like I said, we grow and we learn from our mistakes in the past, and all we can do is move forward and try to raise these kids the right way. We take some of those good things and we implement it, from what our parents taught us, and we take some of those not good things, and we just readjust it a little bit, So
I love it, man. Well put. Thank you for that. Powerful. It's Chance again. What's up?
I mean, as you said, me and Trey have a lot in common, and being from blended families is definitely something else we have in common. And as we've gotten older, that has helped, I think, heal kind of the little boy in us, being able to kind of talk that through with someone who understands, again, as he said, who knows exactly what I was feeling. Now, I had my, bonus dad from, I don't remember a time him not being there. So that is a little bit different, but nevertheless, it's still the same kind of feel. What I would say about, or what advice I would give is, there's no rules, and it's going to get weird. And you just got to embrace that. You have to be okay with, not having, really just not having all the answers, them kind of proving. I think that's the biggest misconception is, they oftentimes, the kid, and James can probably attest to this, they want you to kind of prove, like, okay, why are you here and why are you caring for me? Because, as he said, is this a relationship that you want with me? or am I just a bonus to the relationship that you have with my mom? Because those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think oftentimes adults think that kids can't feel that. They can feel that. You know, are
Mm-hmm.
you clocking in and clocking out? Hey, I'm just gonna, give you a piggyback ride real quick because your mom's watching. Okay, get off my back.
Ah,
Or are you like, hey, I'm showing up to conferences. I'm helping you learn to read. I'm doing
yeah.
this because I care about you. You know, those are two different things. And so that would probably be my biggest thing is be okay with it being weird, and
Yeah.
then really pour into that relationship, because they're two different things. You can have an amazing relationship with that child's mother, but those two are two different individuals. Now you got to have you got to have that relationship with that kid, and they have to feel seen. They got to feel loved. They got to feel like, okay, you're here for me
Mm,
and, my mother or my parent, whoever that is.
mm,
So I think
mm.
though that would be my advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
just to piggyback off of that, um, vulnerability and being open. One thing that I have realized with my relationship and with my bonus kid is that, hey, like I don't I don't know everything
Mm-hmm.
about you. Not everything about you. I know everything about her. But I don't know all your feelings, just like you don't know all of my feelings. But we can sit down and talk. And your feelings are just as valid at 7 as mine's are at 31. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Hmm.
So um just never letting your kids feel like their feelings aren't valid,
Mm.
or
Yeah.
what they're feeling doesn't mean anything, because
Yep.
it does. And even just a little bit of like, hey, like I hear that you feel sad because I might have raised my voice at you.
Mm.
That's never my intentions to make you feel sad. um I apologize, and I feel like as a parent it is okay to apologize
Oh
to
yeah.
you
Preach
know
on that. Put that
Yeah.
on a t-shirt.
it is
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is 100% okay. There are times where I do find myself, I have to say, hey, I'm sorry, Indigo. I didn't mean to say it like that, or my bad, Asher. I didn't mean to get so frustrated,
Mm.
or raise my voice. You know what I'm saying? It is okay to show that vulnerability, because then that helps the child also be willing to open up a little more too.
Mm. Mm.
Whew, that was
Yeah.
good.
That's powerful. That's powerful. You put some strong emphasis on. Thank you for that, Mr. Jones. Mr. Foster, you put some strong emphasis on. It's okay for to apologize, man. Uh, Elaborate on that, man. Holler at us. What? Why?
I
Why?
mean,
Why?
we're
Why?
being we're being we're being candid and open in the
Yeah.
conversation. I think oftentimes we are told, the parents have all the answers, parents know best. But as we have all admitted, uh, we're still learning.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, as Trey said, there might be a day where I am just emotional. I had a bad day at work. I did this, and I might react in a way that I shouldn't have. I need to be able to come back to my kid and say, hey, it wasn't right for me to react the way I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And they need to be able to feel my sincerity. And then it also gives them permissions. Hey, you're human. You're going to have bad days too, but you need to go back and repair those relationships. You know,
Mm.
It helps them learn accountability.
yes. And then,
Mm.
as you said, like just being transparent and validating their feelings. I'm showing you vulnerability and saying, hey, I was wrong and I got emotional and I shouldn't have raised my voice, or I shouldn't have said this or shouldn't have done that. Now they can see, okay, if it's okay for him to mess up or my mom to mess up, I can mess up too. And I can come back and I can say, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And I've seen that with my two girls. I've seen a lot more empathy amongst us three, because I have told them, hey, I'm sorry. Dad was stressed today. Or I'll tell them, when I pick them up, they'll say, hey, how's your day? And instead of giving a quick response, I'm good. It was good. It was okay. No, man, dad's day was stressful. I had a bad day at work, you know, and I've seen them go from okay to now I can say I've had a bad day at work, and my oldest Jazz will come up, she'll give me a hug and kiss me on the cheek, and I'm like, okay, but what would have happened if I would have never given her at 5 the opportunity to show, you know, that she can kind of cover me in that way? It's I don't know. It's cool to see what vulnerability can get you, even in an apology or even in just saying, "Hey, I had a rough day."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That is powerful. That is powerful. And um, what I have learned and still learning, because we talked about fatherhood being an ongoing journey. I mean, fatherhood doesn't. One of the biggest misconceptions anyone can make about being a parent is that don't be waiting until somebody turn 18. Don't wait till they turn 21. Look, just God, here's what God, because God has been ministering to me from the moment this whole broadcast that he's just ongoing, right? Building,
Hmm.
constantly building, right? Constantly molding, constantly using fatherhood to mold and shape me. Because really, at the end of the day, it's about salvation. It's about your soul and your heart being right. Do you have the fruits of the spirit in you? Are you really being the example? You know what I'm saying? Not just in the pulpit on Sunday, not just on Wednesday Bible class, not just when you put on a collar or you put on Sunday's best. Can people see Christ in you? I'm talking about people ought to be able to see, your family ought to be able to see Christ, your co-workers ought to be able to see Christ, your followers on social media ought to be able to see Christ. This is an ongoing situation here. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Thank you, G. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so um, what uh, God has been showing me is that you you have to be able to play all roles. And so what Trey mentioned is like, okay, the friendship piece. So the father is the title, but underneath that father title, there are subsidiary titles. You got to be a friend. You got to know when to be a son. You got to know how to be, you know, saying a mentor, a counselor, all these things. And you have to grow into those roles. And that's a lifetime journey. And we need grace to do that. And so someone might be strong in the a father, whether it's a blended family or a biological family, because I've learned this too. Talking to fathers, they say, "Well, you know what, cuz uh, I go through that with my son. It ain't about having no, it ain't about being a blended family. This stuff happens in biological households."
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
And
that's
so,
true.
one of the things that I wish I would have done better in my household, well, I should say our household, is that it's not just about getting stuff done. You see what I'm saying? Cut the grass, dishes, is your room clean? Like the structure. That's great because you're teaching work ethic, but you got to have relationship too. There has to be balance there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And a lot of the times, um, if you're not slowing down enough in life, you bring that into your household, and that's how you operate at work is how you're operating at home, and there's two different settings. And it's important what you two men have said. It's important for fathers, it's important for mothers, it's important for the children coming up in the household, for everybody in that family structure to see the humanity in one another. Because when we see the humanity, the actual person in the individual, and if Christ is in us, we should want to do better. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
We should our how we engage, how we communicate. It should be we should be growing and developing in those areas instead of being stagnated. And so I think that from my perspective, I came into Trey's life, as he said, 14. Uh, I think it was maybe about his sophomore year. It's like, man, I had to slow down and be like, dude, you need to do better. You know what I'm saying? Are you seeing him? Do you see him? You say what I'm saying? Or are you just working? Is it just ministry? Is it just you working your job and doing things and doing that nature? And so I this is great stuff. What would you leave us with for folks who are growing up in challenging households, uh, fractured relationships? Is it ever too late to amend those relationships? And if it's not, what are some action steps on how to go about doing it? Yes, sir.
I don't know if I'm supposed to hold my pinky up or my hand, but I did have a question for what you just
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
Brother Miller.
yeah.
Sorry not to go off course, but I've seen, pictures of
Mhm.
you as, a bonus dad and then also as a grandfather as well.
Mhm.
I want to ask you, how has what you've learned from your relationship with James help you to be the awesome grandfather that we see? Because we
Uh,
see all the pictures, we hear the stories, we see
yeah,
everything. And one, I want to applaud you because it's dope
yeah,
to see. But how has that helped you?
yeah. I think you guys already said it on the platform. You're constantly growing. I mean, I'm 26. I just had her birthday June 1st. And I understand now what my mother used to say. You know what I'm saying? What my grandmother who raised me used to say. The mistakes that they made with their kids, they didn't make the same mistakes. You know what I'm saying? That with their grandkids.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And so a lot of the times, well, I don't want to speak for anyone else. Um, my relationship with Trey has been such a teacher on how I want to be with the grandkids. You see what I'm saying? Per example,
yeah,
um, when I talked to little Joy Bells when she was coming up, like especially when she was like 2, I get down on my knee so I could be eye level, so that she doesn't just see me as this big like an authority figure, right? I
yeah,
understand the psychological part, the psychology part of, sometimes, kids, if you're always standing like this and you're not bringing down right here, they don't see the equal, right? You're being equal. And so
yeah,
it's not that you are equal, but you're saying, hey man, I see you.
Mhm.
And hey man, although you're 4, your life, your experience is valuable and it's important. And I want you to know that I'm willing to come down on your level, so that you and I can talk, so that you and I, you know what I'm saying, so that you know that I'm serious. So I'm more intentional, if you would.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's just really been. I know that's it probably really wasn't a sound answer, but the truth of the matter is that as parents, you're like, man, I did a lot of things wrong.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I wish I could get that time back. But the only way you can really get that time back is really redeeming the time, the scripture says, is by paying it forward,
Mhm.
right? And
wow.
so I want to pay it forward, but at the same breath, when I'm engaging with the 32-year-old, soon to be 32-year-old Trey, I'm saying I see you. I see you more now today than I saw you when you was coming up as a kid. See what I'm saying? So I think the effort
Turn
was
that
there.
down, Jasmine.
I
Now,
think the effort was there in a lot of ways. And I was just talking with Bishop Jeffrey Smith. We went out to lunch. My wife and him. We all went out to Baltimore, I think last weekend, and we was talking about attending parent and teacher conferences. I remember going to parent teacher conferences of Trey. My teacher at Washburn was his teacher at Armstrong.
Yep.
My football
wow.
coach at Washburn was his track coach. You know what I'm saying? And so my peer at the time, Ryan Hogue, who was on The Bachelor and played in the NFL, was his teacher. I
Mhm.
I, I remember when I was a janitor cleaning office buildings, and Trey was playing freshman basketball, and I stopped at the game to go, put the pom poms on, and then turn around and go have to clean an office building. And so I think a lot of the times you're growing in real time because there really isn't a manual on how to go about doing them. And so the areas where I did well at, I feel like it's like bench pressing. I'm going to continue to grow stronger. But the areas where I'm weak at, you really have to be intentional about putting in the work in those areas. And I will say, I see Trey a lot more clear today than I saw him growing up. And I would say the clergy out there, man, your first ministry is home. You ain't preaching nothing if you ain't preaching in your home.
Yeah.
You ain't. Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you something about this for the church folk, man. Look, man, we gotta quit looking like church and be the church. We got to make sure the church is in us, man. And the areas we know the areas we need to clean it up in, and God has given us grace in this grace dispensation to get it right. And we don't need to be playing and belaboring his patience and think he's playing with us, because he's not. And so I'm thankful, Mr. Foster, for the grace God has given me to grow and develop in him first and foremost, so that I can display it in my relationship with Trey and then with the grandkids, and in marriage, 18 plus years of marriage. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I wanted to let me get you guys on your way here. Tell us really quick, man. Wrap this up. I want you guys to kind of put a bow on this, because it got into my last question. You guys have heard the comments, man. You look like your dad, biological dad. You look like your dad. You sound like your dad, man. You have some mannerisms and behavior patterns like your dad, man. How does that make you feel? What are your thoughts about that?
For me, I laugh at it. Because I know, like, I look exactly like my dad. I exactly like him, walk like him, talk like him, mannerisms just like him. But it also it does give me it does make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? That I'm I'm a representation of my biological dad, but I'm also a representation of Earl too. I never tell you this, but a lot of people say that we look alike.
I get it too. Trust me.
So, for me, it makes me feel good either way, because although my biological dad wasn't as present when I was younger, now in my adult years, my late 20s into my early 30s, he's really been around. We've been able to have really good conversations and develop our relationship how we developed it. But also on the other hand, it makes me feel good because Earl's been around, man, since I was 14 years old. So I know that I got some mannerisms of Earl's too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got some thought processes that is just like Earl too. So on both ends, man, it does make me feel good that I can be a representation of not just my biological dad, but also Earl as well.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you, Mr. Jones, man. Mr. Foster, man. How does it make you feel, man?
I mean, similar to what Trey said, I didn't have the best relationship with my dad until I got to late teens, and now there's not a day me and him don't go without talking with each other. But I did have my bonus dad. I especially had my grandfather who taught me. There's not a lesson that I don't remember that his voice is not in my ear to this day. And so I think it's now that I've started to get to know my dad more, it's been an honor and a privilege to be able to say, yeah, I do look like my dad. I do think like him. I do process like him. But it's been fun getting to know him more and more, and then also seeing how that has helped me get to know myself more. And I'm hoping for my daughters that they don't have to wait so long for that. I'm hoping that they get that at a younger age so that when they do hear, oh, you look like your dad, or you get that from their dad, they're like, I know. Or, yeah, my dad does this because I saw him, do this or whatever. So it's been this for me when I've heard that comment, but as of late, it's definitely been more this for me. So,
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. You guys both have. I thank you for giving us the additional 15, 20 minutes of you all's time. This has been wonderful. I mean, you guys, I know you do this all the time, but you guys, man, I need to do this again, man. You guys get on the platform because you all have a lot to offer and bring into the fatherhood, man. As you guys been talking about, it goes both ways, right? No matter how old we are, we all can learn from one another. I had to ask that last question. I had a bonus on there because as somebody that has always heard that you look like your dad, you sound like your dad, you have mannerisms like your dad, but I didn't know my dad because my dad died when I was 6 years old, and so I had to really wrestle and grapple with, well, God, why was my picture the way that it was? You know what I'm saying? To the point when I was a sophomore in high school, I thought that taking my life just to be closer to, just to be with where my dad was at was an option. You see what I'm saying? Because people are telling you, you look like your dad, you sound like your dad, and you're like, man, I want to be where my dad is at. And so I've come to learn with this question right here, it was an intentional question because what how God what how God's been ministering to me about this is you look like your dad, you sound like your dad, you have mannerisms like your dad, but I want you to become my mannerisms. I want you to look more like me. I want you to sound more like me. I want you to think like me. You see what I'm saying? And so he had to encourage my heart that although my dad wasn't there, that he's been there the whole time. I think that takes us right back to how you opened up with your child, Faith, right? Is that although I didn't have my biological dad, right, and my grandmother raised me, God has been there the whole time. And I want to say, you guys have blessed me this Saturday morning going into the afternoon. I want to continue this conversation, man, offline over lunch. Breakfast. Sometimes we'll get some pancakes. My wife and Gina and Teresa are all at the pancake house. I'm thinking about pancakes right now. But man, give what would you give us closing remarks, and then Mr. Foster, man, close out with a word of prayer. What would you tell some a young father right now to encourage him to stay in the fight?
I would
Ooh.
tell any young father, man, just don't quit. Whatever it takes to be in your child's life, your children's life, man, do it. Do
Mm,
it. Do not quit. No matter if, man, it's a situation of, your child's mom not
mm,
trying to allow you to see them, or
mm,
it's maybe more personal where you might not have a space or a vehicle to get there to see them. Whatever it is, do not let there be any obstacles in the way of seeing and being a part of your kid's life,
mm,
because they will look back and say, hey, I remember, man, when my dad couldn't,
mm.
but still did.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. Thank you for that, Mr. Jones. Mr. Foster.
I reference her a lot, but I would say, something that my grandmother used to tell me: the days are long, but the years are short. And If you don't put in that time, it's going to pass by anyway. And I want to make sure that, as Trey said, they will say, my dad was there. I didn't have a dance recital. I didn't have a kindergarten graduation. I didn't have, this without looking in that crowd. And that's my dad. There it is. Um, just make sure that you are present for those moments, because you're going to blink and next thing you know, you'll have a 15, 16-year-old. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect, man. Take us on with a word of prayer, Mister. We opened up, Mr. Jones, man. Hit us up with that word of prayer to bring us in. Mr. Foster, dismiss us, please.
um, yes, sir. Thank you, God, for giving us this chance to come together and to speak freely, to be vulnerable, to be open. God, we ask that this bless someone as it has certainly blessed us. And we pray that this is not the last of conversations that provide a safe space and healing. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you all, man. God bless you.
Sure. God bless. I see y'all.